Hello, y'all. I did a vote on my Discord server for what kind of video people wanted to see, and the one that got the most votes was a rant video. And the video is late because my intention was to get it out by the end of last week. The video I was making took a lot longer and is still not done because I decided to dissect the hell out of a video that I watched that absolutely broke my fucking brain. But anyway, audio description time for the people that will need it for this. I decided to make this background pretty basic this time, so that way y'all definitely aren't missing out. It's a black background with green text that says rant time. So, yeah, that if you are a completely blind or mostly blind person who wouldn't be able to see it, there you go. Okay, so I want to rant about a thing partially because it's, important to me. The TikTok conversation has brought out a lot of constructive criticism points of social media companies in general, but also criticism of stupid criticisms as well, and I just want to talk about that for a sec. The first thing I want to say is that I think the criticism about China having access to TikTok's data in a much easier way, yes, they can get the data from other places, from other companies, things like that. Russia has, abused platforms before of spreading misinfo. Where there's a will, there is a way. But I do think the U.S. is being selective in the sense of okay, we're gonna hold China accountable hold ByteDance, the Chinese-owned company, accountable for how data is treated on TikTok. But in my opinion, Facebook kind of got a slap on the wrist for when they got in trouble for data misuse. If the consequences of China accessing user data inappropriately is that they have to sell it, then why does Zuckerberg still own Facebook? Why weren't the consequences doled out evenly? I do think the U.S. government is playing favorites with their own companies and not holding them to the same standards, not holding them to task like they are, foreign companies, whether there's racism involved in that or whether it's just it makes them money where companies in other countries don't, those kind of things. I don't necessarily think that the government is trying to force ByteDance to sell TikTok for, good reasons or, virtuous reasons. I think they are essentially trying to, eliminate competition, I guess, maybe, is the word I'm looking for. Because they don't hold the U.S. companies to the same standards, which I think sucks. But, with that being said, there are people that are, diehard TikTok stans who are TikTok can do no wrong. And all platforms have those. To some extent, there's always going to be people who will defend whenever a platform, or even a person or whatever, does something shitty. There will always be people who will defend them no matter what. Those people, of course, are coming out of the woodwork, and of course I find them annoying. Also, the main reason, we are now to the meat and potatoes of the video. I just wanted to get out of the way that I'm not critiquing the national security issues that TikTok has. I'm here to talk about the people that have now come out of the woodwork, or have been in the woodwork, have been out of the woodwork and coming out of the woodwork. But honestly, this issue's been here before this, but the, banning of it is, a potential banning of it or whatever has, made it worse. Is the brain dead take that, somehow short form content is, bad for your brain and it has, a lower attention span or whatever. And, I fucking hate that take so much because, as a neurodivergent person, like TikTok adjacent content. Another reason I say that is I don't go on TikTok a lot. Like, I've gone on there like a few times, but like I don't go on there very often. I tend to go on YouTube Shorts more often. Just like I will occasionally watch like Instagram Reels or like Facebook Reels if people send them to me. I'll watch TikToks if people send them to me. Occasionally I'll like click on the app and go, oh, what have people posted? But there's like maybe 2 or 3 creators on there that I follow a lot. But generally speaking, if I'm gonna watch short form content, my short form content of choice is YouTube Shorts, mostly because the algorithm already knows what I like, because I watch YouTube videos. And like honestly, we could lump Twitter into the short form content category because it's like short form like text post content rather than video. But you know, I do find that, especially because people tend to make like threads on Twitter, that like where you can't really necessarily make like TikTok or like YouTube short threads or something like video threads. I mean, you can like react to other people's videos, but you still have the same like time limits. Twitter can sometimes not necessarily have the same effect as like shorter form content does, as far as the reasons that I am personally in favor of it. Like, I guess the way I see it is like, okay, everybody has the things that they watch when their brain is tired. You know, a lot of people like reality TV or things that aren't necessarily like educational, but it's, you know, a thing you watch when you need feel good content, or like Hallmark movies, or, you know, whatever. For me, and honestly, I would say I've heard this from other neurodivergent people as well, it tends to be a thing that you watch when you're low on spoons, when you're low on the brain spoons. And also, with it being addictive, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but like, it's not really any more addictive than anything else. The addictive part of YouTube Shorts is the same thing that's addictive about YouTube videos or books or like, I don't know, art stuff for me. So like, maybe the addictive thing, I don't know, maybe this is just like maybe it depends on like, because I have heard some people with ADHD say that social media is legitimately addicting for them, which is totally valid. Everybody's brains are different. I'm not saying that social media addiction or being addicted to social media doesn't exist, but the idea that it is for everyone is what I'm getting at here, like trying to get at, is like, I don't know, maybe I'm the exception to the rule here, but I am proof that the rule isn't like 100% accurate. Like, I'm not addicted to like short form content. It doesn't interfere with my ability to do other things any more than anything else does. The thing that interferes with my ability to do other things is when I get hyperfixated on a topic, and I don't need short form content to like cause that. Honestly, I would say a lot of times, unless I'm like addicted to watching people open mystery boxes or something, generally speaking, short form content isn't going to be what I go to when I'm in hyperfixation mode. I'm going to watch longer videos and like, I don't know, draw a picture or something while I watch them. But I find the like ableism that kind of comes along with some of the criticisms of short form content to be incredibly irritating. Like, oh, it's bad for your attention span, and then like the proof is that most of the people they point to tend to be people that like don't have a good attention span to begin with. Like, no offense, but if you have ADHD and you're saying TikTok is negatively affecting your attention span, it's probably more likely that because you're not having to like use those masking skills that you've like had to build up to survive in the hellscape that is our society. Those skills are getting weaker like anything else. If any skill that you don't use, you don't use it, you lose it, rather than it actually like impacting your attention span. Your default attention span is staying the same, but your ability to like strong arm yourself into focusing even when you can't, has gone downhill. At least that's my unprofessional opinion. If I can find it, I have come across videos where people have like analyzed like scientific journals that they found on the topic and stuff like that, and proved that nobody's like looking at neurotypical brains when they're analyzing this stuff, generally speaking. And also, like, I don't know, like the research just isn't there for that type of thing. But like literally I've never seen anybody who has this brain dead take that like short form content is bad for your brain actually have evidence for it. It's just like, trust me bro, and trust me bro is not a source for anything. I do agree that like misinfo can spread a lot quicker on shorter form content. It happens a lot on like Twitter. And it's also easier to accidentally misrepresent a nuanced topic. I've done that on Twitter because you can't get all the nuanced points in your tiny tweet. But so like that is a like, you know, issue with short form content. I remember in college, in my writing for the media class, having to practice a thing where like we got like a press release that like a news, like this was like, you know, example press releases that like a news organization would use to like write an article or write a tweet, and it was basically like you had to practice like writing these like tweet sized articles summing up this information from this like fake press release thing. And it was really fun, but it was also like, this is really hard. And I also am someone who just has a really hard time shortening my thoughts. Like, that's kind of why this video is probably unnecessarily long. Like, yes, I will pick on people in my streams. If you've ever seen any of my stream archives, sometimes I'll pick on people for yammering on too long, but yet I also do tend to yammer on quite a bit. So some of that is just me not being able to summarize shit. I've never been good at it. I was not good at it in school. So a lot of times I'll make if I make shorts on a topic, it'll be like multiple part shorts. But it's not, so like from that standpoint, I can understand why some people don't like making short form content, because it is a challenge, especially to do it like well or do it accurately. But I also do like it for like making memes more accessible to me as a visually impaired person, as far as like if they're like audio memes. One complaint, and I the video's up on my channel somewhere, that like I don't like the videos where there's just music and like visual stuff going on, unless it's like really big. Most of those videos I can't see very well. Sometimes I can. There are some that I can see, but like honestly, as a visually impaired person, that's not the most accessible content. Same with like a lot of memes aren't accessible because I can't see the pictures, or the text is too small. So like, I don't know, a lot of times some of those aren't necessarily super accessible. But like what I used to do when I'd look at memes on Instagram a lot, which is something I used to do a lot back in the day, but I don't do as much now, like text posts, was I'd like hold my magnifying glass up to my phone and like read them that way. But it I don't know, it's kind of one of those things where I kind of wish people would stop kind of acting like short form content is something that is like, I don't know, I feel like short form content gets the same kind of bad rap that like when you're an adult watching kid shows, like the same kind of like, oh, you're childish, you're this, you're that, you're like, and not childish in like the, oh, you like in like a fun way, like, but they mean it like childish in like the bad way of like, oh, you're like immature and need to grow up, versus the like, oh, you're childish and like that's just like your vibes. But I just, I don't know, I'm just really like frustrated because while most of the conversation around TikTok banning has been relatively like about, you know, the actual like issues of like national security threats, and the kind of fact that our government kind of sucks at holding U.S. companies to the same standards. I haven't seen a lot of people point that out directly, but like, also I do feel like it is a little bit of a whataboutism if like someone's saying, oh, TikTok's bad, to be like, well, what about Facebook? Yeah, Facebook's bad too. Like, we're stay on topic. Just like when people point out Facebook is bad, we don't need to be pointing out that Twitter is bad, or when you're talking about Twitter as being bad, we don't need to be talking about Instagram. Like, we need to just, people should be able to criticize a platform without having to then give their opinion on all other platforms they dislike. But I don't know, I've literally seen people in like leftist Discord spaces, wink wink, nudge nudge, if you know you know, have this like take that like people who use short form content like shorts and reels and TikTok and stuff like that, that like they're, you know, ruining their attention span and the attention span of other people, and like people are allowed to just say that without any evidence, and it drives me up the fucking wall. It also drives me up the wall that like people just seem to take that at face value and not fact check it. Just like, obviously, I've seen the critique that like people don't fact check stuff on like Twitter, or fact check stuff on Facebook Reels or Instagram Reels or whatever they're called, or TikTok or YouTube Shorts, basically all the short content, which is true. I mean, people don't fact check a lot of stuff. People tend to, when they see a video essay, just assume, oh, they know what they're talking about because it's a longer video, or a documentary. Take a documentary whole cloth. Like, as a society as a whole, we are shitty at fact checking shit, me included in that. And I just I think that when people point out that people don't fact check smaller videos, it's a symptom of a larger disease, or the fact that like misinfo can spread easier, which is true because you're having to summarize things, and to summarize things you have to leave out info, and which then can lead to misrepresentation. That can happen in articles or books as well, where they'll like summarize things and not give as much detailed information. Actually, in another server I'm in, we were having this conversation about what makes an astrology source good or bad. And there was the conversation of, well, if it doesn't have enough information, it just kind of has these like little summaries and there's not a lot in there, which is very, I don't know, I guess maybe that also inspired this rant, is the idea that like, yes, I agree, if something is too short, if you don't give enough information, if the video is too short to have all the information, like, I'm sorry, I don't think you can make a YouTube short or a like TikTok or a tweet, like a singular tweet, like maybe a thread, you could make a thread, but I don't think you could make a singular tweet explaining an astrological concept and not misinfo, like not deliberate misinformation, but like miss out, like without having to cut out massive bits of important information. And that happens a lot with history, that happens a lot with basically any subject. People will like, but also I want people to realize that happens in articles, that happens in books, that happens in all content. And I kind of hope that what people take away from when people criticize like the misinfo and short form content, that they're criticizing the lack of information rather than it just being an issue with short form content. Sorry, this video is very rambly and all over the place. It is unedited on purpose. I don't want to edit it because I feel like I will like accidentally take out like an important point or something. So yeah, it's just going to be a very rambly, ranty type video. So yeah, I don't completely disagree with every criticism that anyone's ever leveled at short form content. I just don't like when the criticisms run into the ableism territory, especially the freaking fake disorder cringe dumbasses who are like, oh, people on TikTok are like faking disorders, and short form content like makes it so much easier for those people to like fake shit. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Anyway, I could go on a rant forever about how much I fucking despise the fake disorder cringe subreddit and its like offshoots and stuff like that, and how shit like this is not new, and any disabled person who supports that shit is an ableist piece of shit. Any able-bodied person who supports that shit is an ableist piece of shit. I don't care if you are disabled or not. Do not support that type of shit. If you as a disabled person don't want to get fake claimed, don't support fake claiming other people unless there's like sufficient evidence, like actual evidence, not just they made a TikTok that was cringe. Because I mean, there are actual like lived experiences of people like faking shit, but like there has to be actual evidence beyond just cringy TikToks. Like fake disorder cringe is a perfect example of long form content that basically you can type like a lot on Reddit. From what I've seen, I'm still new to the platform, but like from what I've seen, you can type quite a bit on there, and you can spread a lot of bullshit on there. Because yeah, fake disorder cringe is proof that bullshit does in fact exist in long form. Anyway, this is turning into how much I fucking despise that subreddit. Maybe I should make another rant, a sequel to this one, about how much I despise fucking fake disorder cringe. I also have more stream archives to upload that have gone over my hatred for that subreddit and the YouTube compilations that exist because of that fucking subreddit and the shit stain that it is on the internet and the shit stain that those YouTube videos are on the internet, and how I'd like to do at some point like a video essay type thing about how fake disorder cringe was an issue before that subreddit existed, like YouTubers in like 2016 to like 2019, like pre-pandemic, who were like visually impaired and blind, were getting a lot of shit from people being like, oh, well, if you were blind, you wouldn't be able to make YouTube videos, blah, 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 blah. And on my other YouTube channel where I have like little pet shop content, I've never talked about being blind or disabled because I really don't want to deal with the freaking comments of the people being like, but you make Littlest Pet Shop videos, so obviously you're not blind. Like, bitch, I make Littlest Pet Shop videos because I have like, I'm somewhere along the spectrum of being blind, and like the Littlest Pet Shops are big, bright, and colorful, and I can see them, and that's why I like to watch other people's Littlest Pet Shop videos, and I like to make my own because I can see them. So yeah, thank you for listening to my rant. Have a lovely day.